Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Survivor 41 podcast discussion, recap, review, and predictions. This time covering Survivor 41, Episode 10. Jumping right into the recap, we start at the Viacana camp after the last tribal council. Ricard explains how they got Nasir out to the other group. Erica believes that Shan is the biggest threat to win, and Deshawn agrees with her. Deshawn feels conflicted between what is best for him personally versus what is best for the cultural impact of the game. Deshawn and Shan are discussing this conflict and each have their own approach to the game. They both have good personal reasons for wanting the win, but also see the importance that having the four members of the Black Alliance make it to the end. Deshawn breaks down a little bit while giving a confessional, knowing how important it is to him for the Black Alliance to work, but knowing he likely doesn't win going down that path. We then go to the reward challenge. The winner gets to have pizza and sleep in a comfortable shelter for the night. They also get to bring 3 others with them. Everyone makes it to the puzzle portion, but it comes down to Deshawn and Ricard at the end, and Ricard wins. Ricard takes his oldest ally, Shan, and then Heather and Xander, who haven't had much luck with the reward so far, and that'll give him a chance to either work something out with them or at least be in good graces with them for if they end up on the jury. We go back to the Viacana camp. Danny sees Ricard's choices as stacking the jury, which makes him a major threat to win. He brings up Ricard's name to Deshawn, Erica, and Liana. They figure Shan can't be a part of this plan because she won't go along with it. Liana sees it as an opportunity to differentiate her game from Shan's. Then over with the reward group, they all are thankful to Ricard for picking them. Ricard sees that Shan is in a great position, and he and her will have to go against each other eventually. Shan thinks that a man at the end will get the credit for the moves, but Ricard thinks this season would be different. I personally agree with Ricard. I think that with this more diverse cast and just the way everyone feels about Shan, I think if it's between her and Ricard at the end, she would likely win. We then go back to the Viacana camp, where the reward group joins them. Shan and Liana talk about how their moment on the summit was so important to them. Liana tells us that she feels so close to Shan that she doesn't mind losing to Shan in the end, so she reveals the plan to vote out Ricard. Shan then tells Ricard that they are planning to vote him out, and Ricard is thankful but surprised that she wouldn't use this opportunity to get him out. We then go to the immunity challenge. Ricard knows he has to win and is determined. It comes down to him and Xander, and Ricard wins, meaning new plans will have to be made. We go back to the Viacana camp. Shan thinks Erica is the simple vote, and they should just all go for her. Ricard sees that as soon as Shan wants to vote him out, she can, and this might be his last chance to get to the tides turned against her. He gets Xander, Heather, and Erica, but needs one more. Ricard confronts Deshawn about the plan to vote him out and tells him that Shan wanted to get Deshawn out instead. Ricard catches him lying about the situation, but still sees him as the best option to turn against Shan. Erica doesn't want to be the one voted out if Shan uses her idol, so she tries to pull in Danny to get an extra number so they can split the vote between Shan and Liana. Danny sees how smart Erica is and how dangerous of a player that makes her, but still sees the value in getting out Shan or Liana over her. We then go to Tribal Council. They all talk about how they don't know who they can trust, but just go with which conversations felt the most right for their game. There isn't any whispering this time, or at least not that we get to see, and they go to the vote. No idols are played, and the split goes as planned. It's 3 votes Shan, 3 votes Liana, and 2 votes Erica. On the revote, everyone votes for Shan. It really felt like they gave a big moment to say farewell to Shan after how important of a player she was in this season. Shan tells Liana not to trust anyone. She tells Ricard that he has her vote for the million and that Deshawn is a snake. And that ends the episode. So my thoughts on Shan are that she played a great game, but due to her needing to play so hard from so early on back in UA, I think she peaked too soon, making herself a target, and also not being able to adjust to the new personalities at the merge. In UA, everything always went exactly her way, so at the merge, when some of her allies pushed back against her plans, I don't think she was prepared for that. She had to take a step aside and know when to let the move go a different direction, uh, being more of a as long as it's not me type of strategy. Even if someone might be in her greater plans, as long as it's not her, she should be able to find a new path. The Shantham was a great theme for her throughout the entire season. I also have since found out that she has MS, and I'm even more impressed by the way she played. Sadly, that means she might not be able to return in a later season unless it's really soon. She will go down as one of the best from this season, though, I believe. So, for my review of the episode, this was an absolutely awesome episode. It was all about social dynamics and the way a vote can move in an exciting way, completely naturally without the help of any twists or advantages. On top of the immaculate social play, the episode itself was very well put together. The score was used perfectly to accentuate important moments such as the Shantham at one point, the epic showdown between Ricard and Xander at the Immunity Challenge, and the farewell to Shan at Tribal Council. The editing was good for those moments too, as well as the way they subtly hinted that Shan was getting the boot this episode, starting with like Ricard saying that he was surprised that Shan wouldn't tell or would tell him that he was the target, uh, showing that he was ready to for that battle to start between him and Shan at that point already. My one complaint for the episode would be holding on to Sean during his breakdown. It was a little bit weird. They held it for a little too long, and it kind of reminded me of an awkward confessional Colby had in Heroes vs. Villains, where he had a long pause in the middle of it, and they didn't cut that out. Overall, this episode is a 9 out of 10, and I'm tempted to put it even higher. So for my predictions going forward, Shan was my favorite from the beginning, and she's now out. She was falling over the last few episodes, but I still had her as like a top 3 to win coming out of last week. Ricard is now the biggest target, though I believe there is still a path for him to get to the end. I would love to see him ally himself with the other big targets, such as Deshawn, Xander, and now Erica. But I doubt that will happen, as I see there being a pair of Deshawn and Danny, and another of Heather and Erica. Those two pairs could come together as being the remaining Luvu tribe members, and they would have the majority. But Xander still has his idol. Ricard, Erica, Heather, and Xander could all team up as they did in this previous vote, and they would have the majority as well. The one person who I don't see as being in a good place is Liana, though by not being in a good place, she might not even get targeted. She could go back to work with Deshawn and Danny, but I don't think she wants to, but I don't know where else she could go. I'm sure she doesn't want to work with Xander, so that leaves her with only Erica, Heather, and Ricard, and I'm not sure that she wants to work with Ricard now after he organized the vote out of Shan. At this moment, I think Ricard wins against anyone else at the final three, but I think everyone else also sees that. He might be able to get by for a vote or two by saying that Xander is still a bigger threat, but he likely still has to win some more immunity challenges down the line. In the first episode, I said that one of the people that gave a confessional at the very beginning would win, and I just went back and rewatched the first episode. And of those people that gave a confessional at the beginning, the only one that had a longer confessional was Danny, that's still left. And of the shorter ones, we have Deshaun, Xander, and Erica. And I think each one of them could win. I feel like each week is changing up my perspective for the winner. Um, and on rewatching the first episode, I forgot how much time was given to Xander and how good he looked coming out of that. So I think that speaks pretty highly for him. Um, all I can safely say right now is that I still don't think Heather or Liana is winning, and the rest are up in the air, though I would give the lead to Ricard, Deshaun, and Xander. But like Erica and Danny are right there behind them. So that's all I got for this one. This was a fun episode. I can't wait for the next one. It's been crazy trying to follow like who is on the path to victory in this season. And I'm so excited going forward. I think this is turning out to be a really great season. And it's sad that the beginning was a little bit rough and people dropped off because it's been really good for the last few weeks. That's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out a lot.